Thank you. Okay, don't push it. I should have warned you earlier, but it's
I
okay.
can't say I'm not looking at her face.
Too late. So for sports, if you want to send in your contributions, we encourage you to send messages through WhatsApp to 0809444091. Also on Twitter.
At Smooth981 FM, use the hashtag LockerRoom981. We are also streaming live on YouTube, so hurry there because you can get to see what's happening behind the scenes.
And my side
And I
eye.
was going to say, if you've never seen Tega before, today is a good day to see this petite fireball
Yes.
do her thing. So
She's
go
an
on to
amazing person.
yeah, YouTube, amazing.
Yeah.
That's don't be praising this girl; she doesn't
I
deserve
have
your
to, I have
praise.
to praise her.
And you can go Smooth 981 FM on YouTube to see what's going on there.
All right, so as the Raptors prepare for game three, Kyle Lowry says to expect him to be more aggressive when he takes the floor on Wednesday night tonight in an attempt to both jumpstart his own offense and try to get Toronto back in front in his best of seven affair. According to Lowry, he says to play, to do whatever I need to do to help my team win. Being on the road, I may be more looking for my shots, being more aggressive. I play better on the road, and I always have. That's how I've always been. The road is where it's supposed to be, the toughest, and I love the road.
Yeah, and that's why you don't play at home where all the pressure is. Tells a lot about your character. But hey, I'm not the one paying your salary, so let's just go right ahead. And it's true, he's been very poor at home. I mean, game two, he had only 13 points. And so you can imagine that if Kawhi Leonard had 34 points on the night and you just dropped 13, how are we going to beat the Golden State Warriors that have Steph Curry, that have Clay Thompson, even if he did pick up an injury in that game.
Yeah.
Draymond Green, Andre Iguodala coming from the bench. It's just so much Arsenal on that Golden State Warriors team. So you need to bring up your game. Game one, I think he was 6 of 12 from open play. So 50%, he was shooting at 50%. That was his best average. And he didn't help his team win in either game. So, and he's thinking that when he goes to Oakland, I bring out, he's like Chelsea, I bring out my best weapon when there's pressure. I'm going to do this. Guy, just don't tell us about it. Let's see you do it on court. That's the most important thing. If you tell us how you want to be aggressive and then game three starts and you're not aggressive, then it doesn't help your team. So let's wait and see. He's really speaking, he's talking big, he's talking tough, he's firing himself up. Let's see how it goes. The good news for him, I still think, is still Katie's out. So there's not a chance of a blowout per se, but still looks like a win, if you ask me, for Golden State Warriors.
you know where I stand on that. So let's see how that plays out. But Super Falcons land in France, eager to make Nigeria proud. Nigeria's Super Falcons yesterday evening arrived France for the 2019 FIFA Women's World Cup, kicking off on Friday, June 7. Midfielder Ngozi Okobi voiced the general sentiment of the whole squad by saying she has a good feeling about the World Cup because the team prepared well. The Super Falcons will begin their campaign on Saturday with a game against Norway in Group A. On the 12th, the African champions will face South Korea in the second game of the competition. Their final group game is against host country France on the 17th for one of the top two spots in the group.
Yes, hopefully by the time France will face us, they are finished beating everybody. So they'll be a little merciful. But who says we can't do something? Why am I even afraid of these French girls? What can they do? They can ball. Oh boy. Those girls can play ball. And again, exactly, they're hosting. Everywhere will just be blue, no green inside. So, I mean, that will be a really tough match. But the very first one we have to focus on right now, which is on Saturday. Here, it's not foul.
That's just in 3
Thursday,
days.
Friday. 2 days. Don't count today. Today has gone.
Okay.
Today, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the beating may start. But we get to face Norway now.
How the Norwegian team and strong team?
They're a strong team. They're a very strong team. And their strong team, their strength is in the teamwork. Okay. Now, they had an individual big player who is the best player in the world right now. I know some people say, but that's matter. No, it's Ada Hedeberg, but she's not going. So that's the good news, that they don't have their X factor. It's like playing, it's like facing I want to say it's like facing Liverpool without Salah. Then I remember that they beat Barcelona without Salah. So I don't know how to put it. There's no nice way to put it. It's like facing a big team that doesn't have their X factor. So it makes it, for me, in my mind, it makes it a little easier. But on paper, the strength is still in the teamwork. It's a European team, so teamwork, team building, and all, it makes it hard for Nigeria, who I've watched a couple of times and they have good individual players, but I'm still looking out for their teamwork. It's
That's
not
usually
there.
one of our biggest
That's
challenges.
that's the
One of our biggest
challenge.
challenges.
But let's see. I think the girls are really pumped up, and maybe that energy and that adrenaline can push them. I mean, think about it. Yesterday at the Under-20 World Cup, USA beat France, and this French team we're talking about is a fantastic team. Like, from the goalkeeper to the striker, an amazing team, an amazing group of talented boys. Same thing you can say about the USA team, but again, their strength is really in their togetherness. And that US team beat France 3-2. It's not like it was 1-0, so you say it was a mistake. 3 goals.
3 times they hit the net.
They scored first, then they went behind. It was 2-1, and then they came and scored 2 goals.
Okay.
And the French boys cried, we all the way home. So it can happen. So I'm believing in
Very
Super
possible.
Falcons.
All right, so ex-international Wahidi Akani on Tuesday said that the performance of the under-20 Flying Eagles at the ongoing World Cup in Poland was not impressive. His words when he said this anyway, and I quote, "I wasn't surprised at all. The team didn't impress me one bit. Obviously, they've been lucky to have even qualified for the group stage.
Yeah.
They lack tact." Very upset. "We've seen better under-20 squads in recent times. This is just not a well-coordinated squad," he said. And he even continues, says, "Even the technical team, I didn't see them address every technical issue in each encounter in the tournament. The same problem they faced is still there in subsequent matches from the get-go to the end."
He did not lie. See, why the Akoni must have been watching from the same chair I was watching. Because if you remember that these guys were beaten in the AFCON qualifiers, created a few chances to, did not score, so therefore did not win their games, had to go to penalty shootouts, lost 2 games back to back in via penalty shootout. So you understand that they had this problem since from AFCON here, from the under-20 Africa Cup of Nations here. And then they go to Poland, and it's not going to be any different. A lizard in Africa is a lizard in Europe. It's just the same.
It hasn't been addressed.
It hasn't been addressed. So they go again and they're playing. Again, they create chances, they pass amongst each other, but defensively, they still leave their defense. I mean, you could find loopholes in their defense. Aerially, when players are running at them, they don't know how to defend. They first wait for the footballer that is running at them to overtake them, then they start chasing and trying to defend. I'm like, dude, you saw him coming. What were you doing before then? And then when it comes to the final third, I mean, they play beautiful football in the midfield, then they get to the final third and they don't know what to do with the ball. Should we cross? Should we shoot? How are we going to do this? So it's a struggle, and I did not see in my mind's eye how they were going to even beat Senegal. And so for me, the surprise was that they didn't lose horribly against Senegal. If you ask me, they didn't concede a lot more against Senegal. So it was a very horrible display. And if you think about it, that the age grade championships are supposed to be like the future of your Super Eagles team, then our future looks very bleak. If that's the future. I mean, you look at the Argentine team, they lost yesterday again. Was a very heartbreaking loss to the Malian team. Played very well, ended up in a 2-2-all I want to say 2-2-all draw. And then it got to penalty shootouts, and Argentina lost by 5-4. But you look at the team and you can say, oh, these people have ballers. So you know that when Messi retires, there'll be somebody to play football. May not be as exquisite as Messi, but you know, they have a team. I cannot say the same for Nigeria. Even the French team, I cannot say the same for. So it's a really sad one. I am not excited about the future. I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe our best products will come again from European rejects. After all, what can we do?
Oh, good. Okay, let's let's take a break. Dwell on that for a second. Let's be back. We're going to come back. There's still the locker room here on Smooth 98.1.
I think they've coordinated the time because it's 26 and it's 26 days, just by seconds. It's just this is just faster by seconds.
Oh yes, they have.
Because when you said let's take a break, I was like, there's still time.
Oh gosh.
Hi, my name is Dakori, and I'm going to tell you about your favorite Milo ready to
No,
Milo
don't tell us.
made from
Give
natural
us.
goodness of milk, malt,
Hi,
and
yesterday I wanted to eat agege bread. There was no agege bread because of the
None in sight because of the salad.
because of the
Eid.
whatever holiday it is.
Oh
Oh, me Salah, me Eid.
my
They didn't give me
gosh.
food. I'm not happy. They did. A lot of people did
To work on
party,
a public
but they
holiday.
didn't give me food. Are you serious?
Yeah, and
I hate
I mean,
public holidays.
I shouldn't go to the gym. Like, what will happen?
You're doing it for the girls then. Woo! Follow for the girls then. Come on, man. Let's give it to them. I'm just broke, darling. I'm just broke. That's why I'm not excited. Stop shouting. I want to go home and watch tennis.
What times are these matches? Message me now when it's time for match, so I can watch.
I would have been paying you for the Nigerian match.
No,
That's very
I won't
disappointing. But the Super Falcons, I think I'll pretty much be heavily involved in the World Cup.
coverage.
Yeah. Because this game is going to be sweet.
How you feeling?
I'm better.
Was she ill before?
She was dehydrated.
Well, she'll be leaving water for me to drink. I drank water again on Monday now.
Let me tell you what happened to me once.
What?
Before I started drinking plenty.
What happened?
When I started taking coffee.
Yes. Yeah.
During when I was working for one Saturday like that, I wanted to do laundry, so I first tried to take off my bed sheet. As soon as I bent down to stand up, I fell on the floor.
Are you
Passed out,
serious?
yeah. And I went to see a doctor. I thought there was something terribly wrong with me. I was very dizzy, so I would sit down, the whole room would be spinning.
Oh no, this one I was
The
afraid
doctor
of.
said that first I should check my nutrition, I should drink a lot of water, I should add a lot of vegetables and fruits to my diet. And that was
No,
why.
dizziness. Even when I went downstairs to lie down, the room was spinning. I was so scared.
Are you serious?
We're back. And we're back. Still the locker room here on Smooth 98.1. We'll have more stories. Send your messages to WhatsApp 0809 444 981.
All right, we have Sylvester Cyril here, who's just giving a shout out to Valentine and Tega. He says because of you, he bought a radio so he can listen to Yuval and others.
And Ayo. Tega, by the way, he says Edward ABS says hi.
Oh, hi. Hey.
Hey.
That's my cousin.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's nice. By the way, they said they cannot see your face, so please move so the YouTube family can see your face.
But Edward knows me. Like he knows exactly what I look like.
Not Edward.
Oh,
someone else on
okay.
YouTube. Chimobi Victor says the Super Falcons need a lot of confidence against Norway if they really want to get the maximum points in their first game. Tega, pray for them all. Then he says this one: our Flying Eagles of Nigeria team just went to the tournament to make the numbers at the World Cup. And then
Oh, gosh.
Shehi says, Ayo, where did they see those are under 20 boys? Our 8th grade football is dead, Joe. Tega, Falcons are already in Paris. The BRT and Dangote trailers to pack their goals are already on the high sea en route Paris, Norway, and France.
We will shame you.
Yes.
We will
Abeg,
disappoint
forget
you.
Falcons. Valentine, that Louise proved to AJ that pot belly can better than six-pack jaw. So
I
is he
know.
trying to tell you something about your gym?
I'm beginning to see reasons why, because this 6-pack journey is very hard. So
By the
we'll
time you
take solace
finish
in
it.
that. Stan Chimex on YouTube sent in this message says a beautiful day to see Tega. I can't see anything. And Zainab Olanike, don't worry, Stan, we've told her, we've asked her to adjust.
I just yes.
Zainab Olanike says, where's Tega's face? Tega, come on. Demola Loco says, first time I'm seeing Ayo. You don't look like your voice, but you're beautiful. What does
Oh,
that
thank
mean?
you very much. I usually say my voice is not beautiful. It's not a veiled compliment.
I'm just
It's not a
quiet.
veiled insult or
Demola,
compliment.
thank you for the compliments.
This is locker room. Oh. Is it a sports?
Hang on. Yes.
Comment.
It's a sports show. We've got to be spotting the faces now. Denala says, Tega, Mike, they block your face. Go, they catch you. Ah.
Yeah, I'm always
Everybody
cold.
actually is interested to see your face, Tega. So move. Let's move on.
All right, let's move on. Okay, so we go on to tennis, where Roger Federer to face Rafael Nadal in French Open semi-finals. So Federer set up a French Open semi-final against defending champion Rafael Nadal by overcoming fellow Swiss Stan Wawrinka in 4 sets. Shortly before Federer won, Nadal completed a 6-1, 6-1, 6-3 win over Kei Nishikori in the quarterfinals. Now, Federer, who is 37 years old, said this: the complete dream would be to win the tournament. But I'm very happy. Number one, to be back in another semi-final of a Grand Slam. It hasn't happened in the last year or so. I had some tough losses in fourth rounds or quarters. So from that standpoint, I exceeded my expectations here.
Yeah, he did exceed his expectations, having taken a vacation from first of all, he had taken a vacation from clay, so coming back to the major clay court tournament was a big deal. And you could say he'd had favorable opponents up to the quarterfinals, where he eventually did face Stan Wawrinka. But when he got to Stan Wawrinka, there were so many things. He was playing Stan Wawrinka on Susan Londo, the same court that Stan Wawrinka beat him in 2015. In fact, it was the same court and it was the same stage. Quarterfinals. So he was fighting a battle. It wasn't just the battle on court, it was a psychological battle. And then to think that even when I finish, if I manage to beat Stanislas Wawrinka, I am going to face the king of clay. It's the worst thing ever. But he had to do his job. He wasn't very it wasn't the usual articulate performance of a Roger Federer that you've come to expect. It was littered with unforced errors here and there. I think he had about 15 break points and he managed to convert only 1. So it was frustrations because he could read the game, but he couldn't take advantage of what he could read. So it was not a smooth performance at all. However, what it did was show the kind of character that he had, the way he was willing to fight and push and crawl and scrape regardless of how bad the day was. Eventually he was able to overcome Wawrinka, and he's now through to face Rafa Nadal. And Rafa Nadal, on the other hand, did not have any mercy for Kei Nishikori. In fact, Kei Nishikori should have just walked over 6-1, 6-1, 6-3. Like, even when the rain fell, you think that Kei Nishikori will have the time to sit down and readjust his game. It's not the same. He came out and Nadal still beat him mercilessly. So Nadal has been ruthless so far in this tournament, as usual. I don't know that Roger Federer stands a chance against him on this surface. But I do remember that Roger Federer has beaten Rafa Nadal since he came back from that injury 2 years ago. He's beaten Rafa Nadal more than Rafa Nadal has beaten him. So that may be the only hope. But on this surface, I'm backing Nadal to win it.
Okay, so let's look at the International Athletics Federation. So the IAAF says it will seek a swift reversal of the decision that allows Olympic 800-meter champion Caster Semenya to temporarily compete without taking testosterone-reducing medication. On Monday, Switzerland's Federal Supreme Court temporarily suspended a new IAAF ruling that would restrict testosterone levels in female runners. However, the IAAF says the suspension only applied to Semenya, who's 28 years old. The court's super provincial order will also only apply until the 25th of June. That is the date by which the IAAF must respond to the court on Semenya's case. Last month, the South African filed an appeal to the court after failing to have new IAAF rules restricting testosterone levels in female runners overturned by the Court of Arbitration for Sports (CAS).
Yes, so Caster Semenya appealed the decision in court, and now she's free to run. Sepko is just angry and smashing things and breaking tables, and so it allows her to run. But because she was IWF are claiming that the CAS ruling is just for Caster, so the rest of people like Wambui, and Yusumbar, Francine. What's her surname now? Well, her first name is Francine. No, it's not that cute. She's from Burundi, so she has a very African name. So, but Francine cannot still compete. This ruling is just for Caster to compete. The good news is that Caster was actually the face that was being targeted. So as long as she can run, there's a victory. But I know that the IAAF will be smarting from this, and they're going to look for ways to keep appealing and appealing. They still have till June 25th. And then, so they have enough time, I think, to build a case and come back. But it's such great news.
So that's the name you're looking for is Francine Neon Samba.
Thank you.
Neon Samba.
Neon Samba.
Thank you so much, Valentine. IQ 1 million. Mauricio, sorry, let's go to Chelsea. Chelsea boss says the call of Italy is strong. I wish I could do an Italian accent. So Chelsea manager Maurizio Sarri says he misses Italy amid reports that he could leave the club to join Juventus. For us Italians, the call of home is strong, Sarri said. I feel that something is missing. It has been a heavy year. I begin to feel the weight of distant friends and elderly parents I rarely see. But at my age, I only make professional choices. I won't be able to work for 20 years. It's hard work, the bench.
Yes.
Such a
look, at the end of the day, he's just telling Chelsea that people don't even want me. You don't cuckoo want me before. Let me be going back to my house. And he's right. Most in general, you see the Italians return home. You see the Spaniards, especially Spaniards. They can't stand. The Spaniards that have come to the UK, for some reason they can't stand it. Like, people sleep too early. I mean, 10 p.m. is when we are just starting to play ball, and people are already sleeping by then. It's too cold. They always have one complaint or the other. The social life is not enough for them. So if they have an opportunity to run back home, they take it very quickly. For Sarri, he hasn't really had a good time. Yes, he has won the Europa Championship trophy with Chelsea, but he hasn't had a very good time. There've been Sarri ball, sorry ball, questions here, questions there, too much struggles, and he's thinking, you know what? Especially again, the press in England is very into your face, but in Italy, the press it gives you a little more room, a little more wiggle room. So people like Jose Mourinho, they enjoy England because they enjoy fights. They like fights. But people like Sarri, they don't understand why people are talking about every single thing. I will sneeze, you will talk about it. I will talk it. No, so he'd much rather prefer going back to Italy. And since there are people calling him, well, he shall answer the clarion call and go home and enjoy his coaching.
All right, let's take a break. We'll be back with more sports stories inside of the locker room here on Smooth 98.1. Stay with us.
Demola, thank you so much. I see
I don't know who sent me this work.
Demola Aloko. Thank you so much. You're far too kind. You guys are just amazing. Adeni Badejo, Rafael Nadal all the way, Joe. And then Stan Chimek. They can't still see your face. You need to literally move this way for them to see your face. Let me show you what.
Take a picture.
Look at. They can't see your face. They can
take a picture now.
All right, so everyone see Tega's face, please. And see Valentine's face. Val, we advertise for us.
Val, show them your six-pack. Show them your six-pack.
No, Valentine, show me your power.
Exactly.
Another one. It's a miracle. This is what you guys see behind the scenes. It's locker room. It's the final hour of locker room. And Tega, let's see your face. The microphone is literally blocking your face.
I'm actually walking. I can't do that.
We have only a few minutes to go. Meanwhile, so tell them, Tega has a conference coming up at the end of June, right?
July.
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 So tell them now, let them see your face. Ladies in Sports International Conference. I'm really proud of her, and I cannot wait to see what will happen at the end of July. So keep the date, 26th, right? 26th of July.
Better not forget. You are in trouble, sir.
I can't forget.
So I don't know who sent me, but I've wiped out all the messages on this one.
Which phone? Why?
I don't know. I was trying to.
Tega, give us your phone back.
I was trying to check the messages on WhatsApp,
Tega,
and I
give us our
tapped
phone back.
and I tapped text messages instead. I wasn't the one. It wasn't me. I know you people have seen on camera.
Evidence.
Don't tell. Don't ask. Don't tell. So I was. But I don't know. I beg, take your phone. I'm not doing it. I'm so tired.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm hungry. I want bread and eggs and sausage and bacon and a glass of juice.
The smartphone network
This Roger Federer has pot belly.
doesn't.
When I get pot belly, dies. Walking like a daddy. And the cuckoo has 4 children, so he's a daddy. Looks like someone's aristo. On the other hand, Rafa Nadal looks like someone's boyfriend. Hey, take home to mama.
Let's go.
Lagos.
Max, you're up.
My name is Ahmad.
This is the city that never sleeps. You're listening to the smoothest dial in Lagos Radio, Smooth 98.1. And more sports stories inside of the locker room. That hashtag is on Twitter at Smooth981FM. The hashtag is lockerroom981. Now, former Spain and Real Madrid boss Julian Lopetegui has been appointed as Sevilla manager on a 3-year contract. Sevilla finished 6th in La Liga last season and sacked Pablo Martin in March after the Europa League exit. His successor, Joaquin Caparros, who was only appointed until the end of the season, revealed in April that he has chronic leukemia. Wow.
Yeah, it's a very sad one. And which is why he had to step down, and they had to look for a new boss. But this coaching job seems to be the best job. Like you are always going to have a job. You
Of
can't
course.
just sit at home and do nothing. You're always going to have, except you're Roberto Di Matteo then.
Mm.
Even with your Champions League
You
win.
had to bring him in.
No, but nobody will give you work. But he's not a bad manager. He's just a manager that made a lot of bad decisions at particular points. And so he wanted to. Real Madrid spoke to him, and instead of him to wait, he took up the job just right when he was enjoying success with Spain.
Mm.
And so Spain fired him. Then he gets to Real Madrid, and it's not a jolly good ride. And then he gets fired. So it's just. The bad things that happened to him came in clusters.
Wow.
And so it tends to look like you are a bad person. But if you look at his record, especially when he was in Spain, where the coach of the national team in Spain, it wasn't bad. And I think Sevilla is a good place for him to hang out and try to get results. They are not too ambitious to say they want to win the league now. And of course, they're not saying they're going to win the UEFA Champions League. So he doesn't have too much to aspire to. And that may be a good place for him to start all over again. So congratulations to Lopetegui. Enjoy.
All right, congratulations. Let's go to some comments as we wrap up the show this morning. Biggie from Kesu says, those under 20 boys are just playing as if they were listening to Drake songs as they were playing. Now they're out of the tournament. I feel the coach did not pick the right players for the job, and our women are winning the World Cup. Believe that. I believe
Yes!
you, Biggie. I believe you.
Okay. Big T sent a message says Sarri was very fortunate to win the Europa title. It was a consultation for Chelsea, but he's not competent to lead Chelsea. Even if he wins the World Cup, let him carry his sorry ball back to Italy, please.
Yeah.
Even though the man is still trying to drop hints, people
Yeah.
still want to send him off without an,
Adeni Badejo says Rafa Nadal all the way, and
No, I'm Team Federer, please.
Ah.
Team Federer. Oh, this man is 37 years old and playing giving younger ones a run for their money. I think he deserves this Grand Slam. It would be a nice way for him to start to wrap up his career, and I hope that he wins.
Okay. And the other guy doesn't need to.
Tega is looking at me like,
Raphael.
The other guy turned 33,
Yeah.
so he's just 4 years younger.
Exactly. So which
It's
one
4
are we
years, but he
talking
has a lot more time to win Grand Slams.
about? He's just biased.
You see that let me tell you, Rafa Nadal has, I think, 17 trophies. Is it 17? Yeah. About 11 of them are only from French Open. Like, this is his home soil.
That's what I'm saying.
He doesn't win as often. It's not like Federer that has no. It's not like Federer that has 7 Wimbledon, 6 Australian Open, 5. Like, Federer's own is multiple everywhere.
Yes.
Rafa Nadal, this is where he packed all the Grand Slams. If not, he would have had only like 5.
Because we're still managing.
Okay, no, he would have had like 6. He would have had, without the French Open.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rafa Nadal has literally won only 6 trophies. Think about it.
Yeah, but think about the
No,
fact that
No, just think about it.
When you're
When you're supposed, so allow him to win this one because he may not win the others.
CF in Federer. That's it.
Anyway, at the top of the hour, we have a fantastic conversation that's waiting in line, and that's for Lagos Talks 981. It's when you call us, you talk to us. So we'll bring up the stories by that time. In the meantime, special thanks to Tega, as always. Ladies in sports, there's a lot lined up for this month and the next. So check them out on Twitter at LIS International, and also continue this conversation on Twitter with Tega at Tega Supreme. Good morning.
Good morning.
My phone needs to charge faster. Why is it delaying?
You take. Okay, I'm gonna end the video because there's nobody in this video.
Are you serious? Where is Sam?
He's coming.
Oh, yeah, outside.
I really want to go home quickly.
Oh, nice.